Hi, I'm Rebecca, and today I'm going to be talking about something that has lived rent-free in my brain literally since the movie came out. The Teen Beach Movie conspiracy. And I don't just mean the fact that the whole cast is gay now, that's just an added bonus. No, I'm talking about something in the plot that is either a giant plot hole or actually suggests something else. Now, I say conspiracy as if there are other people who think this. It might just be me. I've never seen anyone else talk about it. Maybe other people think about it. I don't know. I don't know how many people are thinking about Teen Beach Movie on a daily basis normally. But regardless, I invite you to join me in my personal hell. So Teen Beach Movie is a Disney Channel original movie that came out in 2013. If you're looking at the Disney Channel original movie timeline, this puts it after Camp Rock and High School Musical, but before Descendants. So after the biggest hits that they had, and before the next biggest hits. Just sort of in the middle there. It did pretty well. It has a pretty high score on Rotten Tomatoes for a Disney movie, but generally critics didn't love it that much, and kids liked it, but didn't love it as much as the older movies and the movies that were to come. So what is Teen Beach Movie? Teen Beach Movie stars Austin from Austin and Ally and that girl from The Fosters as Brady and Mac, two high schoolers who are living it up, having the best summer of their lives, on the beach in California, surfing to their heart's content. They are ambiguously dating. This is the period of time where Disney was like, no kissing, kissing bad. They get one affectionate head touch towards the end of the movie, but other than that, you're not gonna see much more. The movie starts with them surfing on the beach. They're having a great time. After their long day of surfing, they return to Mac's grandpa's house, where Brady sees his favorite movie playing.
Best movie ever made.
His favorite movie is called Wet Side Story. Yes, that is correct. You heard me correctly. And it's a musical from the 1960s, complete with bursting into song and dance and cheesy love story moments and all of the things that are characteristic of like a stereotypical, cliche love story musical movie. Brady's obsessed with the movie. He knows the plot beat by beat. He knows the songs. He knows the dances. He can predict what's about to come up next. He's seen it so many times that just walking into the middle, he can be like, oh my God, I love this scene.
I can't believe you're watching this without me.
Something that is really important to note at this point in the movie is that they make it explicitly clear. Like, super, super clear. They make sure you know that that world of that 1960s movie is very different than the world where they live. Matt complains about the movie, saying it's unrealistic how they burst into song and dance just seemingly out of nowhere.
How can you two like this silliness? They sing for no reason. They come out of the water and their hair is totally dry. The girls never surf as well as the boys, and they sing for no reason. I mentioned that one again, because even the second time, I don't get why.
This shows the viewer the key differences between the world that they live in, which is like supposed to be our world, and the world that exists within this movie. Then things start to take a turn for the worse for Mac and Brady because Mac's aunt shows up and she wants to whisk her away to this like fancy private school because her dead mom wanted her to, and there's just a lot going on there that ends in Brady being upset and Mac being upset and everyone being upset, and Mac having to catch a flight to the East Coast ambiguously the next morning. Mac doesn't really want to go to the fancy private school, but she feels like she has to. She owes it to her mom. And she feels like she doesn't really have the right to do what she wants to do because she'll be ruining her mom's dreams of what she wanted for her. There's a ton of exposition in this beginning real world chunk. Not only do they walk through the entire plot of the movie in the 60s,
A surfer guy and a biker girl share a secret love while trying to unite their rivaling gangs.
they also talk about the fact that there's going to be a big storm the next day that's going to bring in 40-foot waves that will be surf that no one has ever seen before.
Wait, surf like that only happens here once every 30 years.
Now, can you imagine dropping in on a barrel that huge?
The next day comes, it's the morning Mac's supposed to leave. She can't bear leaving without having at least tried surfing those special waves that one time, so she grabs her grandpa's special, potentially magical surfboard and runs out into the waves. But the waves look bad, and her grandpa is worried. So Brady jumps on a little thing. That thing. I don't remember what that thing is called. Jet ski? That's not right. That thing. And zooms off after her to rescue her. They both get hit by a wave, and when they come up, the beach is gone. All the other surfers are gone, their grandpa is gone, and all that remains is a bright sunny day, and in the distance, something familiar. It's the dance scene that we just saw on the TV earlier when they were watching the movie. They have landed in Brady's favorite movie.
Mac, we're in the movie.
What movie?
My movie, West Side Story.
How? Why?
A big dance number is going on, and Brady is thrilled to be there. He knows all the dance moves, not because he just like is a member of the musical and can burst into song and dance, because he's seen the movie so many times that he has it memorized. It's like how a lot of people my age can like kind of do that dance from the end of High School Musical. He knows the dance because he's seen the movie so many times that he's just sort of picked it up. Mac, on the other hand, has seen the movie but not like enough to have memorized all of the dance moves and is discombobulated. She's frazzled, she's getting knocked all around by the dancers. She has no idea what she's doing, and she definitely can't just do the dance by looking at it. The movie characters go down the line, introducing themselves in a very Hairspray-esque style, and Brady, thrilled to be in his favorite movie, jumps right in, matches their enthusiasm, and introduces himself the same way. Mac, left at the end of the line, hesitantly introduces herself and is sort of just like, I'm Mac, please get away from me. What the heck is going on?
I'm Mac.
Brady's having the time of his life. He jumps into another dance number.
I've always wanted to be in that number.
Mac, on the other hand, is freaking out because she's like, excuse me, why are you not upset? We're literally trapped in a movie that doesn't exist. I'm supposed to be on a flight, and now I don't even know where I am. I don't know what world this is. I'm not happy. I want to get home.
I have to catch a plane in 2 hours. Well, 2 hours and 50 years.
Despite his obvious enjoyment of being there, Brady reassures her and is like, okay, look, we got here because there was a big storm, right? Well, I've seen this movie a million times. There's a big storm at the end of the movie. So if we can just get to the end of the movie, there'll be a big storm and we can get on a surfboard and hopefully that'll take us back home the same way we got here. He explains that from where they are right now, they're about 3 days until the end of the movie, so they can just chill, have fun, and they should be all set to go. Except they accidentally get in the way of what is supposed to be the meet cute between the two main love interests in the movie, who are obviously from two different gangs, because remember, this is a West Side Story. And instead of instantly falling in love with each other, they instantly fall in love with Mac and Brady instead. This turn of events causes the movie to grind to a halt. Literally, everybody is just standing around because they don't know what to do. The script doesn't tell them what to do at this point. In the original movie, a fight is supposed to break out, but the rival gangs don't have anything to fight over, and so they're just standing there.
So we changed the movie.
We changed the movie.
We changed the movie.
Mac and Brady realize that this movie is never going to end, and therefore they can never get home if the two leads don't even know each other. They then have to concoct a plan to get them to get together so that they can actually leave, even though Brady still is enjoying himself and doesn't really want to leave that much. Here's where the movie takes like a little Back to the Future-esque turn. The more time that they have spent in the movie, the more they start to become integrated into the world of the movie. Mac's rash guard that she's wearing when she first gets there disappears. Their clothes change magically just by them talking about it.
Where did these outfits come from?
The magic of movies.
And their hair doesn't get wet when they dunk under the water.
Hair.
Hair?
Hair. Hair.
Your hair isn't wet.
My hair isn't wet.
What does that mean?
It means that my hair isn't wet.
And that means?
We're morphing, changing, Brady. We're morphing into the movie.
These are all things that they make sure to note as differences. The biggest difference, the one that's most significant, the one that they've been drilling into you all along, is that at least they're not bursting into song yet, right? Well, they start to burst into song. Mac is so freaked out that she literally sings a whole song where she says, I can't stop singing, make it stop, make it stop. Am I real or just a prop? Like, is she just a prop of the movie? Is she just part of the movie now? Or is she actually her own person? Like, can she do anything by herself anymore? There's an entire dedicated number just to the fact that they can no longer not burst into song and dance. They start to get integrated into the movie in other ways too, as they get to know the characters in the movie more as actual people and not as just characters on a silver screen. They start to see them as more well-rounded, and they start to learn from them. In pushing the cinematic lead to be more confident, Mac becomes more confident, and she realizes that maybe she can stand up to her aunt if they ever get out of there. There's also a weird and pretty much unimportant side plot running the whole time about these weird mad scientist guy. One of them is from Jesse. Mac and Brady literally tell one of them that he's not real and he has an existential crisis. So that's pretty much the only thing about them that's mildly important.
We're from the future, and you're not real.
Mac and Brady's pushing to get the two main characters together isn't really that effective, but regardless, they meet on their own and they start to get along anyway. Mac and Brady get captured by those mad scientists that are unimportant, and the two romantic leads are able to use that information to unite the two rival gangs and go save their friends, prompting the end of the movie. So the movie within the movie has come to an end. Mac and Brady are ready to go. The main character from the movie gives Mac a necklace that has the same logo as the magic surfboard. They get on their surfboard and they ride off into the waves. They go under, and when they come back up, their hair is wet. They did it. They're back in the real world. They get onto the beach. Mac's grandpa is there, looking creepy as ever. The weird aunt is there. She's able to ride in that last wave. Everything is going great. And then they burst into a big song and dance number, and the movie ends. Now, wait a second, you might be saying. Go back there a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little move. Can you just move back for a second? They burst into... They're in... And therein lies the Teen Beach Movie conspiracy theory. We have been told a million times in this movie that bursting into song and spontaneous dance is something that only happens in the world of the movie. They make sure to say it. She literally says it twice in the beginning.
And they sing for no reason. I mentioned that one again, because even the second time, I don't get why.
But now that they're back in what's supposed to be the real world, we're supposed to believe that they just burst into a song and dance number and that's totally fine? And hence the theory. They never left the movie, right? How could they have? They couldn't have left the movie. And there's other things that support this too. When they're in the movie, everything is really brightly saturated. All the colors are bright and they pop. In the beginning of the movie, the whole first 10-minute chunk where there's no singing and they're set in the real world, everything is much more dim. It's lit much more realistically. It's meant to look like our world. But if you look at this dance number from the end, those are those bright poppy colors from the movie again. In addition, there's also an end credit scene that supports this theory. The characters from the movie emerge from the water the same way that Mac and Brady did into what is supposed to be the real world. And they are able to interact with the people on the beach. But like Mac and Brady are so quick to tell the mad scientist guy, they're not real. There's no way they could be there unless they never left the movie world at all. And this is some sort of other movie or continuation of the movie, but regardless, it's not the world they've started in. It can't be. To make things even creepier, if you remember from the beginning, they went through that lineup of names and they all introduced themselves. But Mac is sort of hesitant. She has a lot of her individuality and her inherent dislike of the situation that's happening.
I'm Mac.
Well, in this song from the end of the movie, in the real world, Mac introduces herself again the same exact way, except this time with all of the added vigor and enthusiasm of the characters of the movie.
I'm Mac!
And gives a kind of creepy little maniacal smile, and then dance number continues. She's done it. She's fully integrated. They've moved past slowly getting integrated into the movie to become full-on characters of their own movie. Not only that, props appear out of nowhere, something that we know doesn't happen in the real world, but we've seen a couple times happen in the world of the movie. And additionally, a bunch of dancers pop out of nowhere to dance in the background that don't look anything like the people that used to be on the beach. How can this be the world that they came from? Mac is also still wearing the necklace that the girl from the movie gave her, which is definitely just supposed to be a little nod to it definitely actually happened. But maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's just to show that she's the main character now, instead of the other girl. This is now her movie, but it's still a movie. The second movie, which I'm not going to talk about and most people don't seem to really like that much, also supports this theory because the characters from the movie are in the world that the regular characters are in, interacting and bursting into song the same way that they did when they were actually part of the movie. Now, I understand that probably this is just bad writing. Probably they didn't intend for this to be a gigantic plot hole at the end of their movie. Most likely they were just like, the movie is over, time for a giant dance number. But they spent this entire movie being very, very explicit, telling us exactly what is the difference between being in the real world and being in the world of a movie. And then, right when they get to the end and we're supposed to be like, great, they made it to the end, they just don't care about that anymore. Nobody in the writing process was like, hey, wait, this is kind of weird that we said you're not allowed to sing and dance in the real world and now they're back in the real world and they can sing and dance. It might make it look like they haven't left the movie at all. No? Not one person? Nobody? Just me? This theory is generally a little creepy. It's kind of unsatisfying because it means that the movie story never ends, but to me, it's the only logical explanation for what could be happening here. From the first time I saw this movie in 2013 when it came out and I was like in high school and way too old to be watching this movie, I immediately was like, wait a second, how, they didn't leave, they're still in the movie, what's happening? I literally wrote a paper about this, not even a joke, I wrote a paper about this in 2017. I wrote a college paper about this conspiracy theory, but no one else really seems to care about it. Maybe now it will haunt your dreams the same way that it haunts mine. And so there you have it. What are your thoughts? Do you believe in the Teen Beach Movie conspiracy theory? Am I crazy? Do I think too much about children's media? Probably. I also wrote a paper about Descendants. That's a whole other thing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to hear me talk about other things. I know that the content on this channel is kind of all over the place at the moment, but I'm really trying to pull it together, so I'd really appreciate some comments and feedback about what you'd like to see, and if you like this sort of video, that would be really appreciated. If you want to follow me, I'm at @Cabernesser on everything. That's my name backwards. I'll put the link in the description. Bye!
Best movie ever made.